Hey everyone, it's me Tim, and today I'm going to show you guys exactly how I plot out a motorcycle ride using Google Maps. This is going to be the most scenic, fun way to get from point A to point B without using interstate highways. Stick around. So like I said, today I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I plot out a route using Google Maps. Currently I'm on a trip where there's a bit of a time crunch. I have to kind of keep moving and getting in about 500 miles a day, but I don't want to get on the highway. I don't want to deal with the tractor trailers and the craziness. I don't want to be brought through all of the major cities, which the interstate is going to do. I want to see the backcountry. I want some beautiful scenery, some twists and turns to kind of keep me occupied and make the time go a little better. Now, the first thing I'm going to do when I go in Google Maps is, of course, I'm going to check the box to avoid highways. That's a good place to start, but that doesn't always give you the best route. I'm going to show you guys what exactly I look for and where I drag the line to ideally make the best route possible for myself. And the other thing I'm going to do is check the box that says avoid tolls. The reason I do this is because I don't want to be fumbling with cash, holding everybody up in line. It's really a pain when you're on a motorcycle if you have to stop and pay a toll, and it's such a process that I'd rather avoid that too. So I'm going to check both of those boxes to start with. So let's go ahead and jump into Google Maps and I'll show you guys exactly what I looked for the other day when I was heading from Joplin, Missouri to Evansville, I think it was Indiana. Okay, so here we are in Google Maps, and this right here is Joplin, Missouri, and we want to get over here to Evansville. And that was Indiana, I was right. So flip these around. So this is the most direct route. It's 448 miles. I could come this way, that would be 465 miles. Takes a little bit longer. Seems about right. The speed limit might be a little bit slower here because based on mileage it shouldn't take an extra half an hour. So we're going to go over to options. We're going to avoid highways, avoid tolls. I know there's no ferries here, but I wouldn't necessarily avoid those if I didn't have to, because sometimes jumping on a ferry is a fun way to kind of shake things up. So we'll close that and hit enter. Okay, so these are the two routes it's giving us, 521 miles or 475. Neither of these is really the route I want to take. I want to kind of just shoot straight across like this, straight to Evansville, and I'd love to see Mark Twain National Forest. I have a feeling that's going to be really beautiful and probably, a nice scenic twisty road through there. So we'll zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so right here I'm kind of seeing there's this road right here, looks pretty good, takes us much more directly to where we're going, and it cuts right through the middle of Mark Twain National Forest. Now zoom in a little bit more. Now this looks pretty twisty too, especially right here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like there's some good twists here and here. I want to avoid these only because I'm trying to make decent time. So these are going to be, very secondary roads. Speed limits could be 25, 30 miles an hour on there, and I'm not going to be able to make great time on that. The other thing I want to do is avoid any roads that look like there's just a ton of towns. This is a good example right here. If I was to come down through Falcon, Nebo, Lynchburg, Plato, and Roby, every time I come through one of these towns, the speed limit is likely going to go from 55 miles per hour down to about 35 or 25. There could be traffic lights and stop signs, so that's going to really hold me up and be a little bit frustrating on the bike. Now, I don't mind passing through nice little quaint towns and checking out, whatever's going on in the local areas, but for this situation, I do want to kind of find a route that's a little more efficient than that. So I'm going to say that leaving from Joplin, yeah, the best way to get there, because there isn't going to be much to see in this area, is to just jump on the 96 to the 266. But right around here, I want to start kind of adjusting this. So I'm going to say that the 38 is probably the road I want to be on. So I'll drag that up there. Drag this over here. So that's got us on that. And yeah, we want to basically take the 32. And that should be pretty scenic. You can see here, I mean, this is a pretty twisty road. There's not a lot of towns to pass through, so this is probably going to be a pretty efficient road. And we'll come over here. I might want to adjust some of this because right here is the Mississippi River. Now, actually, while I'm thinking of it, let's just drop the little guy right over here and just kind of get an idea of what this road might look like. Okay, maybe not. Well, we can drop him right here. Yeah, see, these are the kind of roads I'm looking for to get from A to B. Yep, nice and twisty. There's not a lot to slow you down. I'd say the speed limit on this is probably 55 at least, maybe 60. So that looks pretty good. Now we were kind of looking up here, but I can assume that this is probably roughly the same. And a lot of good twists and turns here. And it is a main route. We can see that, this goes through a lot of towns. So this isn't going to be, 30 miles an hour the whole way. This is pretty open. Now we're going to come over here, and this looks about right because we're going to ride along the Mississippi for a little bit, and that should be pretty scenic. Then it kind of starts to turn east again. And over here we get on the 149. And the same thing, the towns are pretty well spaced out. That shouldn't slow us down too much. We're going to jump on the 13 to the 45. And the other thing with the towns too is you do want to make sure there are a few towns just so that you can get gas. And that all looks pretty good. If I wanted to, I could maybe, well, you know what? I was going to say maybe I could come down this way, but I think this is going to be kind of slow going just because there's a lot more towns and this looks a little bit quicker. So that's going to be the route. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Certainly if we had more time, we could explore some of these roads, but that's going to be probably the most scenic and efficient way to avoid the highway. And we got it down actually quicker than the original time, so that's pretty cool. 460 miles, only going to take 9 hours. So that is, let's see, 460 divided by 9 equals 51. So we're going to be averaging about 51 miles an hour. That's pretty efficient. So there's not going to be too much slow speed riding on this and a lot of twists and turns to enjoy. So I'm pretty happy with that. The next thing we're going to do is come over here to send directions to your phone, and then I'll just pick whichever one of these I want to use to send this route to my phone, and then I mount that on the dash of the motorcycle and just follow the route all day. It's pretty easy. So anyways, that's kind of it. That's the route, basically the route that I ended up taking from Joplin to Evansville. It was really scenic, really beautiful. It worked out very well, better than I could have expected. So hopefully this kind of helps you guys the next time you're plotting out a route or figuring out how to get to your destination on a motorcycle. So that's it for today. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And if you're looking for more Tim's 2-minute tips, you can check out this playlist right here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ride safe.